Can Jade Legacy redeem Jade War? Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Tori, and today you get to watch my reading experience through Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee, which is the final installment in the Greenbone saga. This was such a roller coaster of a trilogy for me, and if you've caught up to this point and you saw my experience with Jade City and Jade War, I really didn't know where this was gonna go at all. I had no idea where I was gonna land on it, and I have so many thoughts. I'm still percolating and trying to articulate what I feel about this series. So here's the vlog, and I'll see you in the outro. The final book in the Greenbone saga. We are about to read it. I'm going to do another vlog to finish out this series, and I'm going to be totally honest. I'm coming into this with kind of a mixed bag of expectations. I hope and have kind of heard that we go back a little bit more to the family dynamics that I loved so much in Jade City. Jade War turned into a little bit of a business and economics textbook, and that was rough for quite a bit of it. There were some very questionable, hard-hitting decisions that were made by several characters in book 2 that I really struggled with. It's weird for me because usually in a series, when I've been in a series for this long, I have a very clear-cut character or characters that I'm just rooting for. I'm behind them the whole way. And these are truly morally gray characters. And I think what is the hardest is seeing them devote themselves so heavily to the clan. The clan trumps everything else, even family, as we saw in Jade War. And that was rough, you guys. That was really rough. We're gonna start this. It's a chunk. And I'm bringing you guys along for the ride. So let's read Jade Legacy. I literally am through one page of this book. Why is Barrow still here? You guys. I'm fine. I can do this. I'm in like chapter 2 right now, and I am so frustrated. I'm so frustrated already. This is not new. Hilo has made traditionally horrible decisions multiple times throughout this series. But the fact that he is doing this to Wen, just like the respect level that I was holding on to for Hilo is just gone. Like, I can't. I don't even know how to respond to this. I'm gonna try my best not to make this a rant vlog, you guys, but like, no promises. I want to slap him right now. I can't believe this. I can't believe what I just read. And like, I get he's frustrated, but that's not an excuse for what he's doing. So I read about 80 pages last night, and this thing with Woon Poppy and Shay, like, I wanted them to get together back in like Jade War or even like whenever they started noticing each other, or Fonda Lee started suggesting that. And I'm just so upset now that he's married. Excuse me? No. You guys. I think Shay and Hilo need to sort out their priorities, and they need to just think through their decisions a little bit more. Hey guys, so I'm doing reading sprints right now, and I'm about 200 pages through Jade City. So thoughts. First of all, I'm liking Andon so much more in this book than I did in book 2. He was just so like pouty and piney, I think, in book 2 that I really struggled with his character. This one, I'm liking him a lot more. He feels like he has more autonomy. He feels more like he's grown into himself a little bit, and I really am liking that. Shay and Hilo, they're completely being ripped apart as individuals by their devotion to the clan. So when Woon's wife Kia comes in and basically says she's getting a divorce from Woon, and Shay basically responds with, I never would have wanted to break up your marriage. I'm like, well, okay, but what did you think was going to happen? Really? Like, really? You're smart, Shay. You're smarter than that. Come on. Tar. My heart. Again. And I feel like Tar is just kind of a physical manifestation of, and a more brutal manifestation of what is happening to these people overall. He's literally losing his mind and everything. And he's just been so broken horrifically by this thing that they're all going through with trying to keep the clan together and all of the countries around them and just trying to fight the mountain. And I'm just, it's really heartbreaking, I guess, is what I'm having a hard time with, that because I want to love these characters and I see elements in all of them that I really want to love, that I really want to support. I want them to make different choices, and it's just like, so anyways, that's where we're at. We'll see what happens next. Also, I just wanted to mention that I absolutely love that Hilo and Wen are trying to make up and that he made her the Pillar Man. I think that's awesome. And I really like Wen as a character a lot. So I guess that was one thing that book 2 definitely did for me, was like embellished her character as one for me to really pay attention to. And I'm really enjoying her in book 3. Guys, what the heck? What the heck? If Hilo is dead in this rubble, I swear I'm going to throw this book across the room. There's no way Aitmata died. There's no way. There's no way. She jumped out the window. She's alive. And I hate that I don't know if Fonda Lee is going to kill Hilo or not. And Woon. It was like 2 massive shocks, one after the other. It was literally, by the way, Aitmata just got stabbed by somebody. Also, nobody needed a Barrow getting frisky scene. Nobody needed that. I'm sorry. Nobody. The shock of Aitmata getting stabbed, and I was like, oh my gosh, what? And I thought that was the big deal for the scene. And then, psych, by the way, also we're going to blow up the building and bury Hilo and Woon in the rubble with everybody else. I'm stressed. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm stressed. I'm going to go to therapy now and try really hard not to rant about this book and actually talk about my life, because that's what I'm supposed to do. But okay, guys, so I'm at the second interlude, page 303 or something. The whole sequence with Shay saving Aitmata and getting her to Andon, finding out that Hilo and Woon were still alive, and then like that whole tense moment where the politics are like constantly shifting and changing based on what information they have. That whole little sequence was just so good. It was so good. I loved that. And I'm really curious now to see if and how that changes the dynamic between the clans, because now they have a common enemy and they've been at each other's throats for so long that the idea that if you could combine their power and be allies? Imagine what they could do. I mean, the idea of them working together, I just don't know that that's actually going to happen. So we'll see. I just got to chapter 31 of Jade Legacy. Here's what I want to say. So far in the books, the time jumps have not really bothered me. They've been, I can follow them. I don't feel super jarred or pulled out of the story when it happens. But the last one that I just got to, so the thing that I'm having a hard time with is we go from Nico being a young kid to all of a sudden he's getting frisky in an apartment. And that is not the jump that I wanted with him. And like, I don't know. Also, everything was just hugely up in the air when we left off in terms of the No Peak and Mountain clans, and we just... I knew going into this that the time jumps were hard for some people, and up to this point, I could see where people would have a hard time with it, but I was mostly okay with it. This one I did not like, so I just wanted to share that with you guys. Hi guys, so I'm about halfway through Jade Legacy, and I just finished reading Nico's first chapter. This is very interesting. Again, we're going back into the family dynamics, which I'm loving. But Nico's a very interesting, I like the contrast that he's coming in. I'm seeing some of his father coming through, but he's also his own character. I just really feel like whatever is coming in the rest of this book, there's this shift in culture that's happening. And I think Andon was kind of on the brink of that in book 1. And we're kind of seeing this shift in culture with the younger characters where they're starting to question more. Whereas, you know, with Hilo and Lan and Shay, they were trying to fit into the culture that had been set up for them. Whereas Nico and Andon, and I'm not sure, you know, how Rue and Jai are going to fit into this yet. There's more of a leaning away from, instead of trying to figure out where you fit in what already exists, it's the questioning and the why do I have to be this, and what if I want to be something else. Well, I know that the next chapter jumps into a character that is a businessman from a different country. Honestly, I couldn't care less at this point. I'm really sorry to say that, but I don't want to know. Like, I'm sure it's important. We'll see how it is. Maybe I'll love the chapter. I have no idea. But anyways, I just wanted to pop on and say that because it was just an interesting note that I made while I was reading Nico's chapter. Okay, so I'm just about to take my cat Pippin to the vet. He's fine, for everybody who's going to freak out at me saying that. We just need to take him in and see. He might have a UTI, so I'm going to see if we can get him some help. But I'm 60% through Jade Legacy, and one of the things that I really appreciate is oftentimes in books, I feel like the author is intentionally trying to push us toward a certain conclusion about the characters and kind of tell us whether they are good or bad or whatever. And that is something I don't feel like Fonda Lee is really doing here. I think she's really leaving us to come to our own conclusions about the morals of the characters and what they're doing. And I think I don't feel a heavy authorial presence in this book, which I think is something I'm learning to appreciate even more as I get close to the end of the trilogy. So there's that. Also, I find it so interesting that we're repeating a cycle of Lan and Hilo and Shay were at one point young people who were driving the older generation nuts. And now we have a repeat of that with Rue and Jaya and Nico. And I think that there's so many cyclical family things going on in this trilogy that I think are really fascinating. So beyond that, I had to move to the bedroom because everybody was being loud. This whole thing with Make-Tar, I knew Make-Tar was going to show back up. I knew he was going to show back up, and I don't for a minute believe that he's going to turn and help an enemy of Hilo's. I don't believe that for a minute. I don't buy it, and I'm excited. I'm excited because there's some comeuppance coming, I think, and I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, so I'm sitting here waiting for Pippin to be done at his appointment, and I'm on page 497. Just, this whole book is a continual spiral of heartache and the decisions having been made generations ago coming back to destroy the lives of the people in this story, which is really hard to watch. Also, Shay and Wen are kidnapped. Wen just went home. I don't feel like this is going to end well for Shay. I don't know what's going to happen. Something's going to go wrong. Something's going to happen. Wen is going to tell Hilo that they don't intend to let Shay live, and then there's going to be a big mess. I'm having a hard time, like, it's on the borderline of being plausible that Wen and Shay would go so underguarded to a place where they know they have a lot of enemies. I don't know. That just, for how intelligent Wen and Shay both are, that whole kidnapping sequence, I was like, I'm having a hard time buying that. I'm suspending my disbelief, but I think that it was a little bit convenient that they just happened to be that stupid. I think Tar, to me, is such an incredibly extreme physical manifestation of what this lifestyle can do to someone. And it was really heartbreaking. And like Hilo standing over the grave and telling Andon, I just want one of my brothers to live, like, it's so, my heart just hurts for these characters, and I wish that they were not tied to such a violent lifestyle, because it's ripping the family apart. It's sending multiple people to very early deaths for no good reason. So anyways, I'm curious to see how Aitmata shows up in the end of this book, because she's been uncharacteristically silent for a while and I don't trust it. So we'll see what happens. I'm on chapter 53 now, and Rue's death, I'm not going to say it surprised me, because it didn't. At this point, I'm going to be surprised by anyone who makes it out of this alive, to be perfectly honest with you. There's so many like full circle things where, you know, Hilo going and asking Aitmata for help to get Shay after the history they have. All of these things have so much more weight and impact, and seeing the character change in Hilo and Aitmata and, you know, Andon throughout the time over this trilogy. It's just the slow build of a life of violence and a life of decisions made. I'm still not going to say I enjoy Jade Ward, because I didn't, and I think a lot of the information in there wasn't necessary to me enjoying Jade Legacy. But this is really a powerful ending so far. So that's where I'm at. I'm still waiting for news back on my cat, so hopefully that'll happen pretty soon. But I've had some good reading time. As you can see, I'm about 80% through, And yeah, here goes the wild roller coaster that I'm sure is going to be this ending. I'm very close now. I think I have 5 chapters left, and the final showdown between No Peak and Aitmata is finally starting to happen. It feels like I have known these characters forever, and that does not happen in every series that I read. There's kind of a long, exhausted familiarity that I think they all have with each other at this point, and now I feel that with them. I have no idea how this is going to end. I don't know who all is going to die. I don't know that Nico is going to succeed Hilo. I don't know if we'll get that far in the timeline or not. But I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be Nico. And that, I don't think it's going to be Jaya either. Like, I don't know if... weirdly, I can see Andon becoming Pillar, I think. Which would, because so much of this book has been focused on how things are changing in the world and in Keikon and in the clans and all of that. And it would be interesting. I don't know, because of his mixed heritage, though. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen at the end of this book. I have no idea if Hilo is going to survive the confrontation with the mountain. He's putting himself in some very dangerous spots, so who knows? But we're very close to the end, and I'm feeling the exhaustion and the desperation and the desire for closure that the characters are also seeking. So yeah, we'll see how it ends. Okay guys, I'm going into chapter 61. They're going to the meeting. There's such a heaviness I feel right now. It's not that I know. I have a prediction how I think this is gonna go. And I've been kind of mentally preparing myself for it, honestly, since book 1, I think. But it's gonna be really hard to read. I'm literally on the last 3 chapters of this book. And I feel like I completely reinvested with these characters after Jade War. I'm just kind of in awe of the sweeping family saga that Fonda Lee has created here. And I don't know if I'm ready for this ending. So I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna finish it. And I will be back with thoughts. Well, here I am. Chapter 61. I knew there was no way that Hilo was going to survive this trilogy. I knew that. I knew it in book 1. I knew it in book 1. But to see him go out protecting, but also with such calm and acceptance of everything he's been and done, and he knows who he is and what he is. And he knows that him being out of the picture means that the aggression and the animosity that have existed between these clans for so long is gone. As soon as he and Aitmata are out of the picture, like, the character growth in Hilo from book 1 to book 3
is really, really powerful. And I don't like him all of the time, and I hate some of the decisions that he's made. But that just felt like a punch in the gut. I didn't know for sure if any of them were gonna survive that, to be honest. I didn't know if Shay and Nico were also going to die in whatever Aitmana had planned. But yeah, I have 2 chapters left of this book, and I'm just like, I feel emotionally shredded right now. So, there you go. You guys get to see me ugly cry on a vlog. There it is. I will probably not film anything else until I do my outro. Oh, and then smear my mascara, leftover mascara, all over my face. So, anyways, I will talk to you guys in the outro.
Hey friends, welcome back. So I finished Jade Legacy. I haven't been hit that hard by the ending of a series in quite a long time. What I think really everything came down to at the end was just seeing the character arc of Hilo, especially through the entire 3 books, and how Fonda Lee gives us these morally gray characters. She doesn't tell us how to feel about them. I never felt like she as an author was trying to skew my opinion one way or the other about these characters. And that I really appreciated. The thing that I think made this finale so incredibly satisfying and heartbreaking was who Hilo was in the days before his death compared to who he was at the beginning of Jade City. And that kind of lifelong character arc is so amazing to read when it's well done. And I couldn't get over how heartbreaking it was, because he didn't go out in a violent standoff. Like, yes, he died fighting, sort of, but the time that he got to spend with his family afterwards, just knowing that his violence and the history of feuding that he had throughout his life didn't have a place in the peace between the clans that was coming, and how supportive he was of his family and the clan taking a new direction and all of that stuff, and him being able to lay aside the vengeance and anger that he carried with him for so long. It was such an incredible ending. There were still things about this book that I didn't love, but overall, I'm just really blown away by what Fonda Lee has created here. And I do want to make a video talking about going into a bit of a deeper review of the trilogy as a whole coming up here, so I'm not going to share everything, I think, because you guys got a lot of my as we go through the book feelings about it. I really learned a lot from this trilogy, and it surprised me, and I went through the entire range of emotions through this set of 3 books, and I want to give a big thank you to everyone who came along this journey with me. If you've read the Greenbone Saga before, if you were reading it, if you were reading it for the first time like I was, thank you for hanging out and coming along the experience with me. It's been a blast. I've had a lot of fun talking with everybody in my Discord about it as we went through each book. There were a lot of great discussions that happened in the Discord underneath the video. If you've gotten this far, put down in the comments who is your favorite character in the saga, and try to keep it as spoiler free as we can for the people that haven't read the book yet, but I would love to know. I'm still gathering my thoughts, and so I'm sure there will be things that I haven't mentioned that you guys wanted to know about, but I'm still just kind of sitting with it, and that to me is the sign of something that really left an impact on me, because I'm 2 days after finishing it and I'm still just kind of sitting in that post-trilogy thoughts space. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. I hope you're reading 5-star reads, and I'll see you in the next video.